Well, I think the depth of the tour has changed really a lot since a while, and I felt like maybe 10 years ago. I've played already for so long. First couple of rounds you have kind of warm-up rounds, and that's done because from the first round you really have to bring your A game, and obviously you can improve within a tournament, but right away you have to be ready because on any given day there's players who can play amazing. I think the consistency of some young players are not shown yet, but that makes them really dangerous as well. So for women's tennis, I think it's also exciting for the fans, and for myself, it's good to see because I feel like it's been 3 generations while I played already, kind of changing. But Serena is still here, so one of the generations, one of the players, and Venus as well. So I think it's really cool. Very excited, and I'm sure we're gonna see a lot more kids on the women's tour.
And speed whenever you're ready.
All right, full speed. So firstly, let's talk about the work you've done in the new WTA maternity policy.
Yeah, I'm very excited that it's finally announced and the world gets to see all the hard work that we've been putting this year. It's been quite challenging to work on this with all the criticism when people didn't really understand all the work behind the scenes. So I'm very proud how progressive we have been, how inclusive how inclusive we were with making those rules, and it's a huge step forward for our sport, and I think it's just the beginning, really.
Great. Yeah, and I'm just have you do a pickup where you say something, kind of introduce it, say, I'm really proud of the work I've done on the maternity policies.
I'm very proud of all the work that the WTA and the board, and myself included, have done on the new rules for maternity leave, and the injury also rules, so it's very exciting.
Right. And talk about how it's important that as an organization that is comprised of female athletes, it's important to be progressive.
I think it's one of the main things that I'm trying to advocate is we have an opportunity to be a pioneer in women's sport. Tennis is the biggest women's sport, and I think we should lead by the example, and hopefully a lot of other sports will maybe adopt our model and will continue to push the boundaries, because we've definitely, I think, broke the stereotype that you cannot really have a family while you're playing on the tour, so that's been broken, and I think that's a huge step forward.
Great. Yeah, and last thing on that, just talk about how it's important for new moms to have that time off, but then they've obviously proven, like you said, that moms can come back and be champions and compete.
Definitely. As I said, those stereotypes are definitely broken, and we needed to have flexibility for everybody to be able to be comfortable to come back. Some girls are excited to come back right away and start training. Somebody wants to stay at home, and it's also everybody's different. Somebody has help, somebody doesn't. So we try to make sure everybody have an opportunity to be comfortable, and I'm very excited, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more kids on the women's tour.
Perfect. Then let's switch gears. Let's talk about the off season. Just tell me about the training you've been doing to prep for 2019.
I've been doing a lot of training. It's actually been just being a mom first, obviously, and then training second. There's been 2 things happening in my life with a couple of days off, traveling to New York City. But I've been really focused on just trying to put all the work in. Last year have been without any preparation for me, so I really took conscious time to be able to prepare and give everything I have to be able to ready for the next year.
And what are you working on, both fitness-wise and tennis-wise right now?
I work on everything, really, because I feel tennis is such an overall sport that you need all of your strength, the explosivity, the speed, so you need to combine all of those things together. So there are different phases that you go through. Some, beginning is more endurance, then it's more more strength, and then there's power and speed. So I've been working a lot on my body. I've been missing a lot of strength last year, and I feel like I've done pretty good progress this last 8 weeks or so, however. And tennis-wise, I always try to improve my game, develop better consistency, develop better power, develop better tactics. So I've been working on overall progress.
Great. And just thinking of going into the first major of the year, Australian Open, what are your goals going into that tournament?
The goals is to play and to do my best. I don't go to the tournament not thinking that I can not win the tournament. I always have very high standards for myself. But for me, it's important right now to just play one match at a time, and actually 1 point at a time, to regain that match play and consistency with tournaments.
Yeah, what are your goals for the overall year of 2019, whether it's ranking, whether it's just performing well and up to your standards?
Well, my goals are always to win big tournaments, and it's always been like this, and I think that the ranking is very important, but that comes with results. So I'm trying to focus on match play and my preparation and winning the tournament, and ranking is following that.
Perfect. And let's talk a little more specifically Australia. So you're obviously a former champion in Australia. Why do you think you have played so well there that you won twice?
Yeah, the first time I actually came there, I won there as a junior, so I guess that foundation was pretty strong right away. And I always feel like I play best when I'm very well prepared, and I think after the off season is where you really have, I really have that feeling. And I just love the atmosphere there because people are excited because there hasn't been any tennis for a month and a half, and the atmosphere of the tournament is really cool. It's always the tournament itself always improving, so I'm always excited to go there. And I love the fans there. It makes me feel like like home there, especially when I walk on that Rod Laver Arena. That's one of my favorite courts. It always feels very special to me.
Great. Yeah, I was gonna say the fans are tennis crazy there, so
yeah.
It must be awesome for them.
Yeah. I think they're sport fanatics, not just tennis, but Australian Open obviously is such a huge event, but I really love the culture of the sports that Aussies have, so it's fun.
Awesome. Yeah, can you talk about how the fans they really take pride in the tournament and tennis being in Melbourne and kind of take ownership of the tournament in that way?
Yeah, definitely. You see it not only Aussie fans, but also I've seen, when Swedish players play, they paint their faces with flags, and Romanian. And when I played actually Lina, I felt like it was 80% of Chinese fans on the stadium. So it's really fun. I feel like that, especially the Australian Open is multicultural, most multicultural to me.
Perfect. But then, so the WTA field right now, if you go to a major, there's going to be 10 plus major champions in the draw. And then you also have young players like Osaka and a lot of up-and-comers. Can you talk about playing in a draw that has so much depth right now, so many former champions and so many young up-and-comers?
Well, I think the depth of the tour has changed really a lot since a while, and I felt like maybe 10 years ago. I've played already for so long. First couple of rounds you have kind of warm-up rounds, and that's done because from the first round you really have to bring your A game, and obviously you can improve within a tournament, but right away you have to be ready because on any given day there's players who can play amazing. I think the consistency of some young players are not shown yet, but that makes them really dangerous as well. So for women's tennis, I think it's also exciting for the fans, and for myself, it's good to see because I feel like there's been 3 generations while I played already kind of changing. But Serena is still here, so one of the generations one of the players, and Venus as well. So I think it's really cool.
Yeah. Would you say do you prefer going into a draw into a tournament knowing everyone's dangerous and it keeps you on your toes, or do you prefer having a couple warm up rounds?
No, I'm very competitive, and I don't ever look at it that way. But I just, whoever's on the other side is that person that, I'm gonna focus on trying to beat. But that's really it.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah.
Sam, can we get some ringtone because of the fridge?
For the fridge.
Yeah. Cool. So we'll just hold for like 30 seconds for him to get the room.